Good morning, Wealth Builders. Good morning, Wealth Builders. Welcome you to the first edition of the credit education course taught by yours truly, Mr. Taquan Burney. So today we're gonna go over like just a brief intro to what credit is and like how credit came about and just some of the perspective that we have on credit, some of the myths, just to kind of touch over the base overview to kind of get a feel for what you'll learn in the upcoming courses. So let's get started. Thank you guys for taking the first step towards a life full of opportunities. Credit has brought so many opportunities. It has been around for centuries and it allowed us to, I call it, it's a little thing that allowed you to start out with a little but end up with a lot. That's what credit allows you to do. What will I learn in this course? In this live course, you will learn everything you need to know about credit. You will learn what is credit. You will learn what are credit scores, aka the FIFO scoring system. For those of you who don't know about credit, credit is an algorithm that is put together by multiple factors that are determined by a FIFO scoring system. And this way credit is used to determine what type of credit you have. We're going to teach you how is your score calculated. I'm going to give you some tips and tricks to show you how to use this actually cheat sheet to show you how to build a strong credit score. We're going to talk about what are the three major credit bureaus: TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian. And there are some other credit bureaus too that they really don't talk about, but these are the places that they kind of get their public records from, like LexisNexis and a couple of others out there. You will learn about the rights as a consumer. We're going to teach you about the FCRA law. The FCRA law is basically a law that lets the consumer, it's for the consumers, let a person know, hey, if there's an inaccurate item on my credit report, this law allows me to challenge this verification or challenge this account that you have in my credit report. The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau is another entity that protects the people from fraud or inaccurate items being reported on your credit report. The Fair Debt Collection Practices Act. This is an act that kind of stops collection companies from doing bad practices when they are trying to collect debt from you, calling you all times of night, threatening you, calling people that you did not, calling people that's associated with you, anything that they do to attempt to collect the debt that's outside of the norm. We also, in this course, you will learn how to successfully remove inaccuracies off your credit report. We're going to teach you about how to remove car repos, charge off, tax liens, late payments, medical bills, collections, old accounts, addresses, phone number. We're going to teach you every single thing about credit and how to remove all these inaccurate items off your credit report. You will also learn the power of credit and how to unlock the secrets and opportunities to credit. When I tell you that when I got into this credit business, I was taken by storm on how important credit was and how the opportunity that it allowed you to do. I learned about how to like leverage my debt. I learned how to make the most out of my credit cards. I learned how to like master the system of credit. And if you understand economics, you understand the world revolves around credit. Credit is a part of the economic system that allows just to keep the stability within the economic system. We're going to teach you how to get out of debt. I'm going to teach you how to leverage debt. I'm going to teach you how to get out of debt. There's some people that are in credit card debt that kind of don't really know how to get out of it, but we're going to teach you that in this course. Like I said, we're going to learn about removing medical bills, old payments, and phone numbers and whatnot. And we're also going to teach you how to build a strong credit profile. I'm going to walk you step by step on how to build a strong credit profile. I'm going to teach you how to add trade lines. I'm going to teach you how to add installments account, how to put rental history on your credit report, how to put jewelry accounts. And these little things really don't cost you any money to add on your credit report, but the impact that it has is major. It allows you to go from a minimum credit score to the 700 in a matter of like 3 to 4 months. And I'm going to teach you how to do that. We're going to teach you what lending companies look for when you get in the loan. A lot of people don't understand why they got denied for this or why they didn't get approved for this loan. And it's an algorithm, and there are certain criteria that you need to have when certain things need to be done before getting the loan, like not having too many inquiries, making sure your credit utilization is paid down before you apply for this loan, making sure that you have a secure job. A lot of people don't understand. Some people get denied for loans based off sometimes the job that you have. If you have a job and it's not like a secure job, if you say if you work for a company that's only been there for like 8 or 9 months, you're more likely to get denied for something because you have not been there long enough, and they want to see some type of longevity that, hey, if we give you this money, have you been around long enough to pay us our money back? So we're going to teach you about things like that, to teach you how to get approved for a certain credit card than someone that won't. You will learn also what credit cards give you a better approval based off your credit type. They have certain credit cards out here that will give you a better approval based on your credit type. Some credit scores are good if you have a 600. Some credit cards will work if you have a 650, a 720. You can't apply for a certain card that's qualified for. You have to have good credit. Like say if you got a card that only works if you have a 720. You can't apply for this card if you have a 650 because you're gonna get denied. Because this card type is not for your credit type. And that could save you from getting denials and inquiries on your unnecessary inquiries on your credit report. We're going to teach you that as well. You will have access to the process that we've used to help restore thousands of people's credit due to inaccuracies, unverifiable accounts on a consumer's credit report. This means that for those of you who have not went to the credit letter site, please visit the credit letter site. Right, if you go to your back office and click on credit letters, those same letters that's on there that I created that have been used to restore thousands of people's credit. It's like these letters are like no other, and they've been tested over the past 2 years, and the results are very high. The return, the amount of time that it takes to fix your credit, we literally cut that in half. We're gonna teach you how to leverage your debt. We're gonna teach you the difference between good credit and bad credit. And debt is not necessarily mean you have it's a bad thing. We've just been conditioned to think that when you hear the word debt, you almost think it's a bad thing. But we're gonna teach you, like I said, the difference between good debt and recovered debt. Just to give you an example, say if you got a credit card, you got two credit cards, one got 15,000, one got 20,000. And say if you own a friend or something, and you want to go buy a house or something, the house was like $40,000, but you know that you can sell this house and get a return. Take your credit card, do a cash in advance or something. Take the money off the credit card. Yeah, you just maxed out your credit card, but it's recovered debt because you're putting it into an asset. It's called recovered debt because you're spending money to bring money back. It's not like you spending $20,000 going on a shopping spree. This money that you can't be recovered. But the money that you took and invested with is recovered debt. Because guess what? You're spending money to make money. So the money that the asset and the profit that you make off this investment, you're going to get it back times 2 or 3 or whatever. And you can pay, and this profit that you make allows you to pay back your original investment. That is called good debt. We're going to teach you how to leverage that. We're going to teach you how to make the most out of your credit cards. The same thing that I just talked about on how to leverage your debt, how to use your credit cards. We're going to teach you how to do cash and advances, what credit cards to get that has 0 to 12-month industrial rate on it. That means you're only spending back the money that you pay. You're not getting these credit cards where you have 22% interest rate on them. No, we're going to teach you what cards to get so you don't have no interest for the first 12 months. And guess what? After that 12 months close, we're going to teach you how to close that card to get another card with a 0 to 12% industrial rate. And if you think about it, most credit cards are, I would say, 17 to 23% interest rate. And if you spend $500 that month, you're paying back 500 times 20%, which is like what, $100, I think. With somewhere around there, 10, 550, yeah, somewhere around that range, like $50 to $100 that you're paying back on top of the money that you spent. You do the math, you do that times 12. Let's just take a second real quick. You can pull out your calculators. Just say $500 times, we'll just say 15%. That's $75 that you have to pay back out the money that you spent if your debt rolls over. We're going to teach you how to eliminate that. What knowledge and skills will I have at the end of this course? At the end of this course, you will become a credit expert. You will know everything that I know. You will know everything that I've learned over the past couple of years to help people achieve their maximum credit score, the dream credit score that we all hope for. You will acquire the knowledge you will acquire the knowledge you need to restore your own credit. You will never have to pay someone else again to fix your credit. A lot of us go to these different credit agencies and you pay these people all this money a month, and sometimes they don't even give you the credit results that you want. And you be with this program for 7 to 8 months just to see minimum credit results. Why not learn this stuff yourself so that you can teach other people? You can teach your kids. If I know what I know now, I would have made better credit decisions when I was younger. Like I tell people all the time is like, you are in debt before you even learn about credit. That's why there's a bad stipulation on credit, because the first thing you think of, damn, I'm already in debt. I'm already in debt because of credit. We will teach you all the skills and knowledge to take control of your own finances and unlock all the secrets and opportunities to credit. We're going to teach you things that they don't teach in society, that they don't teach in school, and probably the things that your parents don't teach you because they didn't know. And this is knowledge that can be passed down through generations and generations. I've helped thousands of people improve their credit score to buy homes, cars, and to start businesses. And I can assure you, the moment I teach you the basics, you will start immediately making progress. If you follow these steps in this course, your financial situation will never be the same. Let's go talk a little bit about the intro to credit. Credit is the most powerful and most important thing in this world. Let's think about it for a second. How long would it take you to save up $35,000 to buy a car? Most of us, it would take a long time. Or just say a $300,000 home. Most people would never save up that kind of money to make one investment to buy a house or to buy a car. So what? You need credit. Most people out there don't really think about this concept and doesn't think how important credit is. Like, credit allows you to buy something that you really technically don't have. You have a $40,000, $35,000 car that you're driving. You didn't really pay for that cash. You bought this off of credit. You bought this home that you're living in off of credit. You didn't buy this home off your own willpower. You bought it off credit. So when a lot of people tell me credit is not important, the first thing I ask, do you own a car? Do you own a home? Like, where do you live at? I'm like, this car that you're driving, did you pay for it cash? Most people probably gonna say they didn't. They got it off credit some kind of way. Whether your credit interest rate on this car is super high, but credit allowed you to get it. Credit allowed you to buy that home that you're staying in. You didn't pay for that home cash. Credit allowed you to buy this home, to finance this 30-year mortgage. Another thing too, let's just say you have a great business idea. Say it's going to cost you roughly about $100,000 to get started. You need a loan, right? Without credit, how would you attain this? Like I said, you probably won't. So you need credit. This is the power that credit gives you. It allows you to unlock opportunities that you typically couldn't do on your own. When most people make investments, they do not spend their own money. When people buy commercial real estate, when they buy buildings, new construction, all the things around us, they do not spend their own money. They take out business loans. They use their credit. They use other people's money. They never use their own money. When you with the credit, this does two things. When using your credit, just make sure that you're taking whatever you're using it for, that it's an asset that's it's an asset, not a liability. If you're using your credit, make sure it's something that it can be recovered. Make sure you're not just out here spending the money that you can't pay back. That's how 90% of the people put themselves in debt, by spending money that can't be paid back. It's okay. It's okay to splurge. It's okay to, to spend money, but spend money off your profits first. Buy something first that's going to generate income. Use that income to go out here and buy these things that you necessarily don't need, but you want. That's how you stay ahead of the game. That's how you stay afloat, and that's how you keep your head above water. You buy your second house first before you buy your second car. I've seen this thing that Jim Rohn always talked about. It's about acquiring assets before liabilities. Assets allowed you to spend things on a liability. So guess what? Hey, you have the money to do this. You have the money to do this. This is like, I don't call it free money, but it doesn't really hurt your pockets, and it doesn't put you in debt. Like I was saying, you think when people buy commercial real estate that costs millions, they're not using their own money. You see the if you see what the if you see what the power of credit has, and this is what we'll talk about, leveraging your debt, and we're going to talk about this later on in this course about the secret of leveraging your debt. First off, I want everybody to start out right now by having a goal. I hope most people in here at least know what their credit score is right now. On the credit letter page, there's a link that allows you to pull your credit report. So if you go on, if those of you online right now, you just go to the credit letters and print out your credit report. See what your current score is. Write it down. Right, put it someplace that you can look at it every day. You have to stay on top of your credit. Your credit is like your lifeline. Some people neglect it. Some people don't like tend to it as much as they should. But I'm here to tell you today that you need to stay on top of this stuff. And if you look at something every day, you will tend to pay more attention to it. And once your credit score starts to increase, you're gonna feel good about yourself. You're gonna start doing the things necessary to make it increase even more. This is how we're going to monitor your credit every 15 days. Most credit agencies update your credit report every 15 to 30 days. It depends on your credit agencies, who you're paying money back to. Some people report every 7 days. Some people report every 30 days. But if you take control of your finances, you can see these improvements. With the goal that you have set in place right now, like I told you, write down your current credit score and write down your goal for the next 3 to 4 months. If you have a 500 credit score right now, make it a 700. If you have a 700, try to get an 800. Make this your goal. So when you look at it every day, you will be looking at things like, hey, how can I better my credit? And by taking this course, we're going to teach you every single thing to how to get that dream credit score. To how to get that credit score that allows you to do really anything that you want to do. A lot of us has been conditioned to think that credit is bad. Like I was saying earlier, this because most of us are in debt before we ever learn about credit. And now you think it's a horrible thing, but it's not. What if you knew what credit was? Like, credit could be the worst thing in the world or it can be the best thing in the world. And if we knew the opportunities of credit, I'm sure that we wouldn't be hunted by it. Now, I'm gonna tell you a little bit about myself. When I first got out of school, man, like when I first got my apartment, I got denied. I was like, well, I can get this apartment. Shoot, like your credit score is like a 5 something. I was like, what is that? Like I didn't know. I didn't pull my credit report till I was like 26, 25 years old because I didn't know. I pulled my credit report. I'm like, oh, whoa. I had credit cards that were late payment. I missed a payment. I was spending the whole credit card on and only paying at the minimum balance. Medical bills I didn't pay. I looked at my credit report. I had all type of stuff on there, and I did not know, like, how did I get this stuff? Because I wasn't educated on paying my stuff on time, paying my balance down before I applied for credit, not letting my bills hit collections. What else that was on there? Just not paying the cards back at all, letting it go on my credit report. Like I didn't know. I thought that, hey, if I ain't pay the card back, it just like, they'll just keep calling me. I didn't think it would actually follow me for the rest of my life, but it did. And that's the things that they don't teach us growing up. And that's why we're hunted by credit. Because by the time we check our credit report, we be so far in debt. You think it's like, oh man, like I don't want to deal with credit anymore. Credit sucks. Credit this. Credit is that. But I guarantee you, if you knew what credit was and how it could help you, you wouldn't be thinking like that. And we probably would have made better decisions. Let's talk about what is credit. Credit is the ability of a client to obtain goods or services before payments on trust that the amount spent or borrowed will be paid back in the near future. Your credit is like your credit score is like your resume. Your credit score is like a resume. Sorry about that. I kind of timed out a little bit. It's like before you go to a job, they look at your resume to see if you're a qualified fit or not. If you have some of the things that they are looking for to fill this role, they're going to hire you. If you go to a creditor or a bank asking for a loan and they look at your credit report and they say, hey, well, from the looks of this, he looks like he can pay back the money that he's asking for. So, hey, let's take a shot on him giving him this loan. Same thing with your resume. If you go to a job and you have on your resume that they're looking for a cook and you have nothing on your resume about being a cook, they're not going to hire you. Same thing with your credit profile. If you was late on payments, you didn't pay back the money you borrowed on time, you paid less than the amount that you borrowed, they're going to deny you because they're going to be like, hey, well, I can't give you $3,000 because there's nothing on your credit report that reflects that you can pay this money back or you pay your bills on time. This means that based off the previous relationships that you had with other institutions, it doesn't look like you're considered a responsible borrower. Do you pay your bills on time? Like I was saying, do you pay back the money borrowed? Your credit is a reputation of you. Just like a resume when you go to a job, it all represents who you are. And this stuff it's gonna follow you for the rest of your life. The factors that determine what type of borrower you are is represented by a FICO score. The FICO score was founded in 1956 by a company called the Fair Isaac and Company. Your credit score is calculated by algorithm. It kind of predicts the behavior that you have, kind of predicts your behavior when you spend money. Like how many accounts do you have on your credit report? How many inquiries do you have on your credit report? How many late payments do you have, or how well do you keep up with your payments? All these things are calculated into a system as an algorithm that's out there that kind of shows you, that gives you that 720 or 500 credit score. And if you use it the right way, you can use it as a cheat sheet because it's basically telling you everything that you need to do to maintain this certain credit score. But most people ignore it. Like it's a chart there for a reason. It's like taking a test and the answers are on the board. If you just look at it, some people don't even look at it. So sometimes it kind of baffles me that people don't even just kind of read sometimes and just look at the stuff because it's available there to you. Like everything is right in front of your face. The information supplied by this algorithm, it generates a score. Like I said, it determines your credit worthiness, ranging from a score of 350 to 850. Let's look at this chart right here to kind of show us how your score is being, to show you what's considered a good borrower, a bad borrower, or whatnot. This is your credit score category. A 750 or above, you consider to have excellent credit. Everybody want a high 8-something credit score, but honestly, a person that has a 750 credit score is probably going to get the same thing you're going to get if you got an 800 credit score, because some of the calculations are basically the same. Good credit, a 700 to a 749. In between that range, you will still be pretty highly qualified to receive like your high-end credit card. Sometimes your credit card with unlimited balances, but they consider this good credit as well. Good credit is just as good as having excellent credit, in my opinion, because most people, you can get some of the same things if you have the right accounts on your credit report. Fair, a credit score of a 650 to a 699. You probably can get in the door with some of your basic things having this type of credit score. You probably can get a credit card, but the limit won't be as high. You would get approved for a vehicle. If you get approved for a vehicle, your interest rate, you have a fair interest rate. I'll say probably 3 to 7% possibly. Yeah, I say that's right. 3 to 7% possibly. Poor credit, 550 to a 649. With this particular credit score, your chance of getting approved for something would be kind of on the low end, unless you in the kind of the mid sixes. Like I said though, with this credit score here, it would get you in the door, but your credit card limits will be very small. Your interest rate, you may need a co-signer if you want a lower interest rate. And it'll kind of get you through our life a little bit, but you're not gonna really get a chance to experience the full opportunities of credit with this type of score. Bad credit, a 550 and below. This means you're not getting approved for anything. You won't get a credit card. They probably won't even let you get a Netflix account. You won't be able to get a car. You probably won't even be able to get an apartment. So we don't want this 550 or below credit score. This is saying that, hey, I never cared about paying my bills or whatnot. And when you try to go apply for something, they're not going to care about giving you any money. So we're going to do everything to keep us away from this score, away from this particular score. And I think by the things that you will learn in this course, we should be around the 750 category. Let's try to aim for good and excellent credit within the next 3 to 4 months. The higher the number, the more likely a lender will allow you to borrow money, like I was just discussing to you, in the form of credit cards and loans. The lower the number, the less likely, like I said, you'll get approved for a credit card or any type of loan. And we're going to teach you things to add on your credit report. We're going to teach you about things to show you what to add on your credit report, such as trade lines, installment loans, like I said, luxury accounts. It's so many credit building factors out there that can get you this type of score. And we're going to teach you that. This is the FIFO credit scoring system I was telling you guys about. This is the cheat sheet to better credit. Let's walk through it real quick. 30% of your credit limit, it comes from available credit. This means that when you get certain credit cards, how well do you keep your balance low? Most people, they say 30%, but I tell everybody to keep your cards under 20%. And I'm gonna just kind of go against what I'm saying right now, based on what we've been conditioned to think. If you can have a high utilization and it doesn't really affect you unless you're applying for something. People be like, oh, my credit score is kind of high right now. How do I get it down? My first question is, are you trying to purchase anything right now? Are you trying to apply for any credit? They'd be like, no, not right now. I just want my credit score to be, my credit score to be lower. I may go to their credit report. They may, their credit may be fine. They may have all payments on time, minimum inquiries, no collections, no public records, anything. Their utilization is kind of high. So I'd be like, hey, don't stress yourself too much over having, a certain credit score, or unless you're trying to apply for something. Look at that scenario. As long as you do not miss a payment, you literally will be fine. As soon as you pay that down, your credit score is going to shoot back up. That's one scenario. Say if a different person came to me and they was like, hey, I'm about to go apply for this. I want to get this car, or I want to go apply for this new credit card, or I want to get a home. The first thing I'm going to say, let's look at your credit report. If your utilization high, I'm going to tell you, hey, before you apply for any type of new credit, pay your cards down. Pay your utilization down. What this does is, and this is the myth that people fail to realize, it's okay to have, I ain't gonna say it's okay, but it's not as bad when you go on month to month, you carrying over balances. Long as you have this 0 to 12% introductory rate, carrying over a balance every month it's not really going to harm you as much. You may have an emergency where you have to overextend your credit usage. That's fine. Just that when you get ready to apply for any type of credit, make sure your credit cards are paid down below 30%. Do you kind of get, I want you guys to kind of comment too. Do you guys kind of get where I'm going with this? Do you see the difference between the two? I only pay down, I ain't gonna say only, but Just pay. Make sure your cards are under 30% before you apply for new credit. That's it. Because they don't look back 3-4 down a month. They don't look back 3 months prior and say, hey, this guy was 3 months ago, he was maxed out on his credit card. They don't look at that. They look at the current situation. If your current situation shows that, you know, you paid your cards down, that you don't max out your cards, that you use your utilization fairly, they will give you this new credit limit. They will give you this new line of credit. They will approve you for this car. They will approve you for this type of bank from the loan or whatnot. So there's just a myth I kind of want to clear up, man. Don't ever stress yourself about, oh, let me do all this stuff to get my credit score back up. If you're not trying to buy anything, just make sure you keep that in. Just make sure you keep that in mind. If you eat, just make sure you keep that in mind. My mouth kind of parched right here. Let's talk about the number of inquiries. Your inquiries is what people use when they pull your credit report. When you get a car, when you get any type of credit, they pull your credit report. And this calculates 10% of your credit report. And most of the time when you buy a car, they run your credit report multiple times. Let me tell you a little trick to get away from around that. When you're searching for a car, do all that stuff in 1 or 2 days. If they run your credit report 1 or 2 times, if they run your credit report within the same day, if you go to 5 dealerships and they run your credit report in the same day, when the banks look at it, they're going to see you searching for a vehicle. They're going to see that you're searching for a car, and those inquiries won't hurt you as much. What I don't like about that is they do put a lot of inquiries on your credit report. Some places you could take a copy of your credit report, or when you walk into the bank, you can ask them to call the actual bureau and give them a free copy of your credit report, so they don't have to actually pull it through the system. Or if you if you're inside of a credit union or you have a relationship with a credit union, go into the banks with pre-approvals. If you have a certain credit score, go into the bank with a pre-approval. That means that each dealership you go to, they would never have to pull your credit report. This is a pre-approval that you have from your bank or your credit institution. This is why it's important to have good credit, because it saves you for stuff like that. You can go, say if you bank with Navy Federal, USA, any one of those great credit unions, you walk into a bank, I'm already pre-approved for $30,000. You don't have to run my credit report anymore. This will save you tons of inquiries on your credit report. And this will help you. And there's ways to remove your inquiries, which we're going to talk about later on. But this calculates 10% of your score. And if you out here searching for credit, they run your credit 20 times. That's a hit on your credit report. 10% of your credit also accumulates the type of mortgages, installment loans, and the revolving accounts that you have. So how long has you have your credit card? What's the limit on your credit card? Is this a mortgage loan? Is this a revolving account? Revolving accounts are credit cards, basically. It means that it's revolving every month. If you spend it, this is what you owe. You pay it back. This is what you pay back. Those are called revolving accounts. Mortgages, as you know, mortgages is a 30-year fixed payment across. It's a set amount of payment over the course of 30 years. Installment loans are the same way. Installment loans are, hey, I borrowed $10,000. I'm paying back a certain amount of money every month. Or a car is considered an installment loan because you have a fixed number of years with a fixed number of amount that you pay every month. This particular factor accumulates 10% of your credit report. So you want to kind of have a mixture of this. If you look at this, if you can follow this sheet, here's a cheat sheet. I'm just giving you ways to have the best credit profile. Let's talk about payment history. Payment history is a record of on-time and late payments. This calculates 35% of your credit score. This is the worst thing in the world. I wish they would change this, because You can have good credit for 3 or 4 years. One late payment will drop your score 60 to 70 points. And it is hell to bring it back up. If you miss a late payment and it reports on your credit report, it will take that credit score would hunt you. I mean, that late payment will be such a major factor for like 7 to 8 months. And if you apply for credit, the first thing they're gonna tell you is they're gonna deny you. They're gonna say too many recent delinquencies on your credit report. You can have been 100% accurate on all your payments for 2 years. One late payment will drop your score 60 to 70 points. So at all costs, do not be late on your credit report. That is the worst thing you can do, and it's the hardest thing to recover from is a late payment. Never, ever, ever miss a late payment. Please remember that. Never miss a late payment. And I'm gonna go back into some little secrets to teach you if you do miss a late payment, ways to kind of get away around that. Because a lot of people get denied for credit. I can look at somebody's credit report, they be like, well, I'm trying to get funding for something, or I'm trying to get this credit card, I'm trying to go do, whatever you're trying to do. I was like, yo, they're gonna deny you because you have 2 late payments. They be like, well, these 2 late payments was due to whatever reason, but I paid my car. I've been paying this bill on time for 4 years. I know if you think that, hey, if I've been not late for 4 years, if I have not been late for 4 years, you think that these 2 late payments won't hurt me, but I'm telling you it will. It'll drop your credit score as quick as you can count to 1. And this takes 35% of your scoring factor. 15% of your scoring factor comes from the length of history you have on your credit card. How long has it been since these accounts were open? The longer the credit history, the higher the way you can maximize this 15%. And when you're first starting out, when you're getting a credit card, it's kind of fresh, it's kind of new. It doesn't really have too much effect on you, but you can get stuff put on your credit report. You can get your rental history put on your credit report. There are certain companies out here that you can go to that it kind of shows it can backdate, which means that, hey, you might have got this account today, but it may show that you had it for 2 years, or with your credit report. Or with your rental history. If you've been living at a place for 3 years and you've been paying rent on time every month, they can actually put that stuff in your credit report, and it'll show that, hey, I've been paying this on this account for 3 years. They can give you the maximum 15% of your score. Use this as a cheat sheet, people. If you read this right here, and you apply everything that you're gonna learn in this course and what I'm teaching you now, you will be able to maximize your credit score. Let's get back to this late payment stuff. I'm gonna tell you a little secret just because you guys are wealth builders. Always put your payments on auto draft. Always. Most people be like, I don't want to put my payments on auto draft. I want to wait to the grace period. I want to do all this stuff. That is fine. Do that with your utility bills. Like I said, most people are not doing this, but I'm telling you, it'll save you a headache. It's going to save you a headache by putting your stuff on auto draft. And okay, kind of got confused a little bit, but what I was going back to say was, like, only if you're going to do something that aligns to your grace period, don't do this on your credit. Like, don't do this on your credit card. Do things that's not going to report on your credit. If you ever be late on something, do this with your utility bills. Not your car note, your light bill, your water bill, something that doesn't report on your credit report. Do not do this with your credit cards, your mortgage, or your car note. If your payment is due and you exceed the grace period, they will slap a late payment on your credit report so fast, like I just explained to you. You want to put your cards on auto pay. If you even have to make the minimum payment every month, at least do that. If you're spending money off your card every month, and say if you spend $500, you only can pay back $25. Pay those $25. I promise you, just pay those $25. Worry about the rest of the letter when you get the money. This helps in 2 ways. This is a secret, man. I'm telling you, this helps all the time. This is how I'm able to remove late payments off your credit report. This keeps you from, if you ever miss a late payment on your credit report, say if you didn't have the money and your account was overdrawn, you didn't have the money to cover the auto draft. It's easier to remove payments. It's easy to remove payments like that. Because say say if you move, or say if for instance you wasn't able to pay it that month, with it being on auto draft, it would show the bureaus or the credit agency that, hey, his stuff been on auto draft, that the money wasn't there. They would not put a late payment on your credit report. They will probably reach out to you before they do that, because your stuff is on auto draft. And the reason why you can easily get this removed, you can call and say, hey, well, my payment was on auto draft, but I called the credit agency and asked them to update my payment history. I never received the correspondence. This is a trick to get late payments off your credit report. I'm kind of going to just share with you right now. With every information, try to log in everything. If you know you're going to be late on something, just kind of just let the credit agency know. If they never send you in a correspondence stating that that you changed your auto draft information, if they can't verify that, they will remove that late payment. If you never received a letter in mail stating that, that you was due on a payment, you can get that late payment removed, because your bank is associated to your email address and your address. And if it's on auto draft, they have that stuff in the system. So if you happen not have the money in there, you can easily call the credit agent and say, hey, well, my stuff been on auto draft, but I called you guys to change my information. I moved. I no longer live at that address anymore. So if they try to send you any type of notice that your payment was late, you didn't receive it, and they really won't count it against you, because they didn't update your information on the file. That's a good trick you can use, that I've used to help thousands of people get late payments off their credit report. So this is a little bit about I kind of missed the slide or whatnot, but this is a kind of overview on the power of credit, and I hope you guys kind of took a lot what I taught you today. I have another session at 7 o'clock, I think, and we're gonna kind of go more into that on actually pulling your credit report and going over every single thing in your credit report. So if you on this session here, just make sure you tune into the 7 o'clock session too. We're gonna go more in depth on, like, the power of credit, and actually going through your credit report and showing you what shouldn't be reported, what should not be reported, and how to clean this stuff up. We're gonna go on more into, like, credit cards and bankruptcies, why bankruptcy shouldn't be reported, and things of that nature. So I'll see you guys at 7 o'clock on the next credit session. Thank you.